Hi again. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun shopping this time. We went to 3 different stores and so much really cool stuff. And a lot of it I left behind because it's crafts I don't do and things I don't need. For example, this happy birthday sign. This is one of those huge yard signs. You can see the size of my hand compared to the size of the sign. And it was $10. Tons of cake decorating supplies, cooking decorating supplies, really cute stuff. I'm just highlighting a few of the bits because there were a lot of them. They had a few melts, but look at all this icing. This is all icing tubes. If you need to have any sort of icing for any of your crafts or any of your cake decorating or baking things, this is the place to get it. This is the only store that I saw the icing in. Again, we're in the Daytona store right now. This is also the only store that I saw these cute little gummies in, and they were so cute, but they only had a few of those left. They did have some melts, but not anything like the melts that they had at the Palm Coast store. The Palm Coast store, if you need melting things, that's where you need to go. The Palm Coast store is coming up next. And once we got out of the baking stuff, they had, again, these pourable mediums, and this is $8 for half a gallon of the pouring medium, and that's a really good price for that. Finally found some of the Park Lane stuff. One of the people who has commented on my videos mentioned that they hadn't seen much Park Lane stuff, which I believe is from Joann's. And we finally found some Park Lane items, and this isn't the only store that we found Park Lane in, but that was one of them. And to be fair, this was a good store for junk journaling, but the Palatka store and the Palm Beach store were actually much better. They had more stuff for junk journaling. I only saw one of these, and I have no idea where it actually is in the store, but I thought it was cute, so I thought I'd highlight it. And the next thing is this really nice set of letters. These are much bigger than the other set of letters that I saw in the other stores in my last video. Really nice, and it was only $1 for all of these letters and all of that punctuation. Such a good deal. They had 2 colors of this little sweetheart inker, and they had the red and the blue. I didn't see any of the other colors in here, but this store did have the red and the blue, and you just stick it over your hand and you just use it to smudge with, and they had quite a lot of them, quite a few. This next item is strips of paper, not red, I don't know what I'm thinking, pink and blue, and they're just strips of cardstock. Now, I didn't buy any of this because I have so much cardstock now that I didn't need any of these, but it was a neat idea, the perfect size for punches. They also had this set of boxes, and this I know is a great brand, and these boxes were really shiny, really shimmery, really pretty. This would be great for any crafting room. Here's the blue ones. Like I said, they had the red and the blue, and these are the blue ones, and I didn't see any other colors of these, not in this store, not in any of the other stores. Paper. Oh my gosh. If you want loose, single sheets of paper, the Daytona store is the one for you. Not the best store for paper that I went to. That one's coming later. But the best store for the single sheets of paper. This was it. They had so many different ones, and they were so cute. This would be great for junk journaling. This store did have some good junk journaling stuff in it. Not as good as the second one, the Palm Coast store. But this one did have some good junk journaling stuff in it. And again, I'm still highlighting these papers. This store had so many pretty pieces of paper. And there would be such great uses for it. Now, most of this was paper weight, not cardstock weight. So bear that in mind. But again, it was beautiful. This box said Delilah. I looked through it. There was none of them. I did find one of these. And I have to admit, I bought the one that I found. The next item that I found was this glitter cardstock, and I've seen glitter cardstock before. These are 12 by 12 sheets, but I had never seen it in these stores in teal. In fact, hadn't even seen it in any color other than the copper that I found, or the bronze. And this was such a great buy, 25 cents for gold glitter cardstock. It is a huge sheet. This is probably 18 by 24, and it's already adhesive. The adhesive is already attached to it. They also had these cute little things. Now, my husband picked this up because he wants to use those to make the jetpacks from the Rocketeer. And yes, my husband does do some crafting. While I show you some more of the beautiful paper, please let me take the opportunity to say thank you so much for everybody who has interacted with, subscribed to, and done all that they can with my channel. I really appreciate you because you're amazing and wonderful, and I can't thank you enough. These were awfully cute, very nice, great for Christmassy cards, bright colors. I didn't pick any of these up, but soon you're going to see how many they have. I mean, look at that. That's one box. They had 3. If you need pastry bags, because this is the first time I've seen pastry bags, these are disposable pastry bags. These are what you can use to do your icing and things like that, which you already knew. If you're looking for this, you already know that. The only store that I'd seen, $1 for 100. That's an amazing price. Another form of glitter stock cardstock, but I have to say I did not buy any of this because there was so many pieces of that glitter on the floor, and I thought, no, I'm just not going to deal with that. Just no. I'm on the no side of that big time. And then we have even more little beautiful sheets of paper, and it's in the back of this box that I found that pink glitter cardstock. So I'm showing you where I found it because this was the only place that I saw it. Then they had washi tape, $1. $1. This is $1 for these washi tape rolls, and each one is 6 yards. So that is a really huge quantity of washi tape for a small price. Only patterns I found, but who cares? They're cute, they're wonderful, they're beautiful, and they're bright and happy colors. I just couldn't resist. This was also $1. Look at all these pens. I have to admit, I did buy this. I don't need any more markers. I've told you that many times. I don't need any more markers. But I bought this anyway because I couldn't pass it up for $1. And if you do glitter, look at this huge bag. Champagne glitter. Champagne colored glitter. Huge, huge bag. Now, I don't do glitter. To me, glitter is like craft COVID. I don't do it. It's a no. I'm on the no side of that one too. And then they had the vinyl. Of course, the vinyl seems to be obligatory in all of these stores that I go into. And then they did have the mixed media books, and this store had it in both sizes. This is the small one. The small one is $3.49. The large one is $3.99. I picked up the large one. I have been kicking myself since I saw the large one and didn't pick it up, so I picked it up this time. Craft kits again. Big, huge craft kits. This one had it, but this one also had Singer scissors. Singer brand scissors, and these were $5 for the two of them. That's it. $5 for the two of them. And I don't know for sure, but I thought that was a great price for name brand quality sewing scissors. Let me know if you think that was a good price too. But wait, there's more! Because this set was only $4. Still Singer, still scissors, but this set was only $4. And if I needed scissors, I would have definitely picked this up. They also had these cute little erasable highlighters, which I admit I thought were really a cute idea, but I couldn't think of a way to use them in my crafting. They also had these washable markers, and they show sneakers, like color your sneakers, wash them off. I thought that was a cute idea. And then they had more of the mix-ins for the slime, and anybody watch Office Space? They had this color of the Astro Brights, which I realize now are not Astro Brights because I finally saw them both at the same time, and one of them's not Astro Brights, and I've been calling them wrong forever. This piece of wood was cool. This is the only piece of wood that I highlighted in this store, but I thought it was neat for a sign. Already had the hanger on it and everything, and I thought that was a pretty good price. I may be wrong. Moving on to the stationery aisle and all the different journals that they had in this store, and they had quite a few of them, and I thought it was a nice selection, but like I said, junk journaling, there's better supplies in the next two stores, really and truly. But this gives you an overview of what they had in this store. And these aren't craft things, I realize, but I thought this was a cute idea. They're little collector's tins with different recipe ideas in them. First one was all casseroles, and the second one claimed to be all favorite recipes, but it didn't say whose favorite, so that one might be iffy as to whether or not you like the recipes in there. But the third one was air fryer recipes, and I thought that was a pretty good modern take on this classic idea for a recipe tin. Moving back to the craft supplies, they had plenty of white glue again. So if you need any of these glues, if you're a slime maker, there you go. And this store also had this packaging tape, which another viewer had commented on, so I thought I'd highlight it. This is Stettler markers, and these are chart markers. That is a great price for double-ended Stettler markers. This is a great name brand marker. So here they are again. This is only the second store that I've seen these in. Thanks again so much for your time and participation in my channel. I really appreciate you. More stencils. So I'm not sure if these came from the closeout or if these came from another source, but here's the peg wall with all the different items on it, and I wanted to highlight a couple of them that I really thought were very interesting and very cool. And the first one of the items that I want to highlight is this set of highlighters, and this set of highlighters is really nice and big and chunky, which may be good for people who need that, either from some sort of disability or because they just prefer big chunky markers in their hand. And this is the only store that I ever saw these thimbles in, and these are again Singer name brand thimbles. They had these really cool block erasers, which are great for chalk and even possibly charcoal and things like that. So this was a nice little purchase. You can also use this to erase ink from a card if you're doing card stamping. So this has a lot of usage and a lot of versatility. The obligatory red Cricut foil, but hold on, wait till we get to the Palatka store. I got something to show you in there. Otherwise, the obligatory red Cricut foil, which I guess I shouldn't be too silly about because $2 is really a great price for that. And they also had these paints, and these paints were $1 for 4 little bottles of them, and they come in these little 4-packs. The selection of colors wasn't great, but if there's a color that you'd like to add or that you use a lot, then this is a great way to get a high quantity of paint without actually having to pay too very much for the paint. And this one was really pretty. I left it behind. It might still be there. I don't know. I didn't buy it because I've already got plenty of paint. And I saw these in the checkout line, just the marshmallows, nothing but the marshmallows. I thought that was funny. On to the Palm Coast store. Phew, I'm 25% through this voice voiceover. Man, this takes a long time. I wish that Ollies would let me record in the store, but with the background noise, I would get a copyright strike, and I don't want that. More boy, hello boy, and then they also had these little glitter hearts that were really very cute. You get 30 of them in a pack for $1. That's not too bad. And they were really pretty, lots of glitter and stickers, and there wasn't any glitter in the bottom, so that means the glitter stays put. They also had these cute little containers that I thought were really nice, $1 a piece. That's not a bad price. And glue sticks also for $1 a piece. And look at the quantity that they have of these glue sticks. If you're a teacher, man, you could stock up on these things. And on that note, isn't it so very sad that teachers are expected to buy their own school supplies? Drop a like if you agree. Also, they had these cute little sticker packs that were fun in the sun, beachy kind of things, and perfect for Florida if you make cards for people in Florida, but also perfect for ironic Christmas cards if you wanted to do that. I thought that would be kind of cute and funny. But they do have a lot of different variety in these and lots of great stickers, and even those big die cut ones were stickers. Then I found these, and it took me a while to figure out that these are just little teeny tiny bags for things, and I don't know what I would stick in them, so I didn't buy any. But if you've got a use for them, this is a great price for a good quantity of little paper bags. Also, they had this sticker pack, which was specifically said it was for journaling. This store had more stuff for journaling than the first store did. This was pretty rainbow colored set of stickers for $1 for all of this. I thought that was a really great price. I didn't actually pick up any of these, and I'm really wishing I had, but 2020 hindsight, I didn't see any use for them when I was in the store, and when I got home I thought of like thousands of things that I could use them for now that I'm looking at them again. You win some, you lose some, I guess. But look at all those beautiful colors. $1. What a great deal. What a great deal. This is the first time I have seen resin molds. This is a diamond-shaped resin mold, and then there are more resin molds in the Palatka store. Oh, and resin! Oh my gosh, wait till you see what they have at the Palatka store if you're a resin person. Oh my goodness! Anyway, sorry, went off on a tangent. Then they had these, and these would be great for junk journaling. I have seen videos that use these little pages as part of the junk journaling, like they sew them together and things like that, and it's so cute. Moving on to what seems to be the inevitable baking supplies, this little set of cookie cutters was really neat because it shows you on the back how to make them into different flours using the cutters that are in there, so it could be used for fondant or it could actually be used for polymer clay. I don't do anything with polymer clay that would be that large, so I didn't pick any up. And little bees, oh my goodness, cute little bees. I had to highlight these. I have not seen these in any of the other stores, so this was definitely worth highlighting. Then we also have the little mermaid tails, which I have seen before, but they're so cute. And everybody loves, well, I can't say everybody, but it seems like mermaids are a trending thing right now, so I thought I'd point that out. More colored sugars and, what are they calling? Sanding sugars. With the amount of stuff that they have, I feel like I keep saying this, but I'm so concerned that some of this stuff is going to end up in a landfill. And later on in the store, I'm going to show you something that one of the ladies who worked in the store showed me and told me about. It actually makes me even more concerned based on what she said. She was talking about items in this particular store, so it will come up later on in this segment. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, I found a couple, 2 or 3 sets of these alphabet stencils. They're a nice size alphabet stencil if you have something that you can use them for. This was the first store that I saw gold shimmering, edible shimmery stuff. And they had, of course, the spray shimmers that you can put on edible food products. Just highlighting a lot of the different baking products and a lot of the little cake decorating products that they have in the store. And here you can see the massive quantity of them. So many different colors, so many different styles. Another different set of cookie cutters for this store. And these are ones that you can use in conjunction with each other to make flowers and other different patterns. I almost dropped it there. But I caught it, I did good. Anyway, this is where you can see how you can put them together to make different patterns, and it was a great price for those. This is the first store that I had seen this particular set of letters in. Again, science fair projects, people, don't forget about those. They are coming, especially if you are a middle schooler or the parent of a middle schooler, because it seems like science fair projects and middle school just go hand in hand. They had these cute little paper clips, also great just as they are in journals, or you could make the little paper covers that go over them. Huge quantities of these, massive quantities. I'm not going to say it again, but you know what I'm thinking when I see huge quantities of these things. I saw this one in the wrong place. I did later put it back where it belonged, but these were really pretty and glittery and puffy. They had nice dimension to them. Really, really pretty sticker letters. More paper clips. These are in the shapes of little doggies. And in addition to the big paperclip style looking ones, they also had these heart ones. Perfect for journaling. Lots of really cool things for journaling in this store. I had no idea what I would use these for while I was in the store, but as soon as I got home and started editing this video, I thought, you know what, those would have been perfect for card making and craft making, and I do that. They're already die cut, and they're cheap, and they're $1 for a whole package of these things, and I wouldn't have to spend the time going through my die cut machine or using my punches to make these things. Oh well, 2020 hindsight. Lots of these little packages of thread in a lot of really pretty colors, really great for embellishments on cards, but I already have lots of it, so I didn't pick up any of these. Here's where those pink puffy letters went, so I put them back. Cute little cupcake stand, very pretty. This wasn't $1, even though it was on the dollar table. I believe it was $7.99. Still a very good price for what this is. Quality product, quality maker. This is a really nice piece. More resin molds. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to show you. The Palatka store is the one that had the mother loads for resin people. I'm not a resin person, but the Palatka store, oh my goodness, I don't know if it's still there, but man, did they have the thing. Little Cricut markers that you can put in your Cricut machine. Not a Cricut person either, but I appreciate that there are many of you out there, so I thought I'd point these out for you. That's the backside of all of the cake decorating stuff. I did find this one bag of sprinkles that were white and blue and very pretty. Moving on to this. This is a magnetic stencil holder, and I picked this up because I have a glass pad on my crafting table, and it's magnetic, and I could use this to hold the stencils down. They also had this set of stencils, and they're really pretty. They've got a lot of useful stencils in them, and there's a great quantity of them. Both the magnetic holder and this pack were $2 on the dollar table, but they were $2. I think in my next voiceover, I'm going to leave in all the times that I say quote again, unquote, and then take a running tally of them just so you can see how many times I have taken that word out of this voiceover. Anyway, this was a really pretty paperback for $1. They were 6x6, very pretty. I didn't pick up any of these because I found a much prettier paper pack. This is the store for the paper packs. I'm not kidding. Wait till you see when we get back to the paper aisle. Oh my goodness. They had so many. Palm Coast store. That's the paper store. This was a pretty journal that my husband wanted to point out, that you saw his hand handing it to me. So it's a really pretty one. It's got those wonderful moon phases on it. And I think he pointed it out to me because he knows I love moon phase stuff. This is just an overview of the rest of the journals that they had in this store. They had a really good quantity, and that little yarn cactus practice book, oh, it was so cute. I wish I'd highlighted it so you could see it better, but for some reason I did not get a video of that particular item. This was a well-organized store, too. I really have to give kudos to the people that were running this area, this department, because they kept it clean and tidy. They had lots of this construction paper. If you need construction paper for a project or anything, there's plenty of it here. If you've made it this far, thanks again. Please drop a like and let me know. Pegboard with all the different items that were on this pegboard. They had a lot of really cool items, but many of them were the same as the others. I did find 2 packages of this phone tape, but do please watch my Temu haul video. I think it's the first video that I put on this channel because I tell you how to get really cheap double-sided foam tape. More clear glue, they had plenty of it, and they had these great big chunky chalks. Those were cool. I thought those would be great for a kid to play out on the sidewalk with. The pegboard on this end cap also had some really cool items, including some more of those really awesome vampire stickers. My husband wanted me to point out this puffy stuff, so I did. It's really cool. And now we're on the paper. This is the first store that I've ever seen the rainbow pad. I've seen the primary color pad, and I've seen the blue pad. This one was the rainbow pad. They also had this really cool journal. I've seen this one with a black cover, but this store had it with a white cover, and I thought that was really cool. This Park Lane paper pad, 180 sheets. It's paperweight. It's definitely not cardstock, but look at the beautiful black and white pictures and black and white papers in here. Oh my goodness, this thing was so gorgeous. And yes, I picked one up, but no, I did not buy them all. There are still plenty left. This is the Palm Coast store. I know I keep saying that, but I want to make sure that I'm being consistent about it. They had another Park Lane paper. Again, 180 sheets. There's that word again. I almost said it twice. Also paperweight, but still so beautiful. Look at those beautiful papers in there. And I know I'm going kind of fast, but you can always slow down the YouTube video so you can see them much more clearly if you want to focus in on any of them. Or better yet, go by the store and check them out there because there were plenty of these. They had lots of these left. This was the paper store. This was the store to go if you want paper for junk journals or if you want paper for crafting, any sort of scrapbooking, anything like that. They had this art journaling pack. This is a pack that gets you started on the whole art journaling thing. And while I don't remember the price of it, I do remember it being really reasonable. I did not pick one of these up. Junk journaling is not my thing, but I appreciate all of you out there who do like junk journaling, so I wanted to highlight all of the different items for you. In addition to the rainbow pad, they also had ivory. And wait! There's more. They also had one called Marshmallow. I'll get to that one. I checked on the camera because it looked kind of yellower on the camera than it was in real life, so it might be a slightly different color there. They had these papers that are used for printing letters and things like that on. I highlighted every different style that they had, but I didn't really focus on them much. They were pretty, and they were reasonable, so I wanted to let you know that they were there because this would also be a really good pad to include in your junk journals. They had this blue pack, and this is like my pewter pack that I showed in another store. It's got bumps on it, so one side is textured with dots, and the other side is just printed with dots. They had this Astor Brights paper pad that was, it's not a pad, it's just a pack of paper that was bright red. They did have a Tombow. They had one. I already had that set, so I didn't buy it, so it might still be there. They had two different types of oil pastels, and they were also a really good price. I only ever used chalk pastels, so I didn't pick any of these up, so they should still be there, and they didn't have a whole lot of them, but they had enough. And this 12 by 12 photo album or scrapbooking album was really nice. Up to this Marshmallow, it was a really pretty, really white paper pad made by the same company that made the rainbow pads and the primary pads and the blues. More of the stencils. I have given up the idea that these came from the liquidations. These are from somewhere else, but they're still pretty, and for $2 or $3, depending on which store you find them at, it's not a bad price for that many stencils. I don't do anything with a 12 by 12 stencil, so I haven't bought those, but they are really nice, and they are really high quality, or at least they feel like it through the package. I have in various stores seen 3 sets of these stencils, but this store seemed to only have 2, but I just might not have looked in the right places to find the other set. There's no saying whether or not they have them, but these have been seen in every store I think I've been in. So if you're looking for these, I don't think it really matters which Ollies you go to. This particular set of stencils say repositionable and reusable, which makes me think that they have some sort of adhesive on them that helps them stay in place when you're using them. They had these little craft punches. These are very cute. And they had this one, which is the smiley face, and they also had the poop. And here is where my concern got really heightened, because while I was looking at these items, one of the ladies who was working in this particular section came up to me and said that if I wanted any of these particular items, that I should buy them now because they were about to be, quote, inventoried, unquote. We asked what that meant, and the best that we got was that they were going to be boxed up and sent back to corporate. That might mean that they're going to be boxed up and thrown away, and she was just not telling us that. I don't know. But I do watch a couple dumpster diving channels, and I have seen where there is a list of things that have been listed out as far as inventory goes and then have been thrown away, and I just really would hate to hear that that is what actually happened to these. The table one we've seen in many stores, so I didn't really highlight that one. This was a new one for me. I hadn't seen this one anywhere before, and it was really pretty. I did pick up one of these, but there are plenty left. They had many, many, many paper pads. I don't remember the name of this one. This one's nautical, and I didn't pick one of these up, and I'm kicking myself for not doing it because I did not realize until I started this that they were double-sided. This is double-sided cardstock. Who cares if the picture on the one side is so big? The other side is nice small print that I could have very much used, but oh well. It is what it is. And there's the stack of them. You can see how many of these that they had. They had this other paper pad here. This is a smaller one. This one's 6 by 8. They are double-sided. They were, I believe, $1.99. They might have been $1. I picked up 2 of these. I thought they were very pretty. And they had this inspirational one again. I highlighted this in another store from my last video, but I can't right now remember what store it was in. These are gorgeous. These are stunning pictures. They're too big for anything that I would do with them, but they are stunning. If you're looking for truly magnificent paper, that is a place, or that is a pad to really look into. And here you see me showing all the different pads that they had and the amount of the pads that they had. They did have the French prep. I love the French prep. I did not pick up another one because I didn't need another one. To be honest, I mean, let's be real about this. I need another paper pad like I need to fly to the moon. But There, here we are. Thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe. I really appreciate you and your time so very much. The obligatory red foil cricket. But wait, I'll show you something that's coming up. Oh, the green rolls. I have only ever seen green and blue, and most of it's been green in the authentic cricket vinyl. Here we have the Astrobites cardstock, and it's really pretty. This was $2.99 at this store, and it is still a really, really pretty paper. Just those beautiful colors in there are stunning. And then we've got this 2-pack of journals, great for cutting apart if you want the papers or for making some sort of craft out of. I have to admit I'm going to cannibalize these for the gold trim. I'm going to cut the card fronts off and use them in some other project. And these right here are another set of the cards. I didn't buy any more of those, but look at the quantity of those that they had. Really a good selection of cards. Junk journal. This is your junk journaling store. This is the first time that I have seen anything that specifically says Joann's on. This is definitely something that came from the Joann's liquidation. And it's really pretty. As far as vinyl goes, that is a really pretty gold shimmery effect in the vinyl. So if you have a Cricut, or I have to admit that I have used vinyl in my craft card making, it works out pretty well too. It makes a nice little shimmer effect on the front of greeting cards. Here's a nice little trimmer, and it was only $5, and it's a good price for that size. And this was a really cute little seating chart that you could use for a classroom. I love the Muppets, so I had to highlight this one. The final item in this store is this kaboom hammer so that you can break open any chocolate that you might happen to have. And finally onto the Palatka store. Oh my gosh, the stuff that this one had was so amazing. So we start with these sketchbooks, and these sketchbooks have really fine heavy-duty paper in them, and they were $1. $1. That is such a great price for this because that paper is such good quality. I couldn't believe it. I picked up 4 of them, and they had plenty more. And this is it. The piece de la resistance. Oh my goodness gracious, this is the thing. 2 kilograms of stone resin and 500 milliliters of the hardener for $3. $3 for that box right there. I don't do resin. I'm not interested in doing resin. It's not something I want to pick up, but I know that that is a killer price for that quantity of stone resin. I could not believe how inexpensive that was. Now, when we left, there were 9 boxes. I don't know how many are still there. This is the store for the melts. If you want melts, this is the store to get them. This store had so much as far as melts go, and they had things that I had not seen in any other Ollies. If you have made it this far, please do drop a like. I completely appreciate you. They had these flavored melts. Those were the chocolate ones. The next one I think I pick up is the peanut butter ones. Oh my goodness gracious, they had so many melts. And they had this great big bag, perfectly, it even says on it, ready for the fountain. So these are fountain chocolates right there. Such a good deal. They had so many different flavors and so many different colors. If you need melts, this is definitely the store that you want to get to. Again, we are in the Palatka, Florida store now. So if this is something that you're interested in for something that you do or a party that you're throwing, go for it. These confused me. I'm totally confused. This is a Walmart brand. I have no idea what a Walmart brand is doing here. This is more confusing than the Michaels brand items that I've found. My husband was helping me out. He brought over this pen to show me what it was, and it was a white marker. And these are little wooden binding pages that you can put for a journal, or you can start to make a journal out of. Really a cool thing. $1 for each of those items, which was a really good price. So many sanding sugars, and this is the first store that I have seen multiple colors of those shimmer sprays. Oh, I'm not up to those yet. I'm showing off the little sprinkles in the Jimmy's first. I finally figured out that if I show the bottom of the Jimmy's container, that you get a much better idea of what's actually in there. Sorry about that. I think I should have figured that out a really long time ago. But again, as a baker, or not a baker, then I wouldn't have known that. These little shimmer sprays, this is the first time that I've seen more than one color of these shimmer sprays at a particular store, and it was really neat to see more than one color. Every other store just had one box of them. Ooh, this voiceover is taking so much more time than I thought it would. I thought this video would be up hours ago. Please do drop a comment saying thanks if you appreciate all of this that I'm doing for you, because I love doing it, and I hope you like it too. And here is another store that had these blue and white sprinkles, but they also had different ones. They had those little blue and white stars. They had these little Christmas color ones that I thought were really, really pretty. And they had one bag of these gold ones right here. And these gold ones are so cool. They would be so beautiful on a party cake or a queen cake, because those crowns, those little images in there, there's little gold crowns. I love that so much. And this was something new. I'd never seen this before. They had fondant mix. So they actually have the mix for you to make your own fondant out of. And they didn't just have the blue, they also had the red, and they also had the pink. Those were a cool find. But this right here, this is not just gold shimmer cardstock. No, this is a poster board size sheet of gold shimmer cardstock for $1. $1. That was so amazing. And look how many boxes of it they have. They are definitely not going to run out. I just hope it doesn't end up in a landfill. One little thing of canvases, these are colored icing sugars. So it's colored powdered sugar. And this is a cake mix for dogs. Yes, for dogs. I didn't get the back of it. I don't know why I didn't show the back of that, but that was cool. And they also had this edible cookie dough. So you could mix it up and eat it as cookie dough. More of the letter sets. Those seem to be obligatory in every store. And this was so cool. Look, you can make glow-in-the-dark drinks. This is glow-in-the-dark drink mix. Oh my goodness. That would be so much fun at a party. And look how many packages of it they have. And just one little random shape with lights on it. This one was a star. And then they had this box of pretty little cards that were just so cool and so pretty. But I didn't buy this because I didn't think it was a good enough value for my crafting. But if it's a good enough value for your crafting, by all means, go for it. They had this cute little family tree portrait album that I thought was really cute, so I thought I'd highlight it. And then a photo album, the 12 by 12 one. We saw that in a different store, but this time I didn't spend all the time trying to show you the shimmer of the words. I knew it was already written on the back. I'm highlighting this. I've seen this in a lot of stores, this little memory box, but I've never really highlighted it, I don't think. So here it is being highlighted for you, and this was an amazing buy. It's $10, which is kind of expensive, but it is a complete kit for making wedding cards, for invitations, for a wedding planning thing. And I think there were like 50 sets in there. And this was new. This is a sieve or a screen for making homemade paper. So this is the screen. This was $2. I did pick one up. They had 3 left when I left. This is just a screen for making homemade paper. I picked it up because I do Papercraft, and I thought it'd be really fun to make my own paper, or at least take my hand at it. And a little crochet bumblebee kit. Oh, isn't that just the cutest little thing? I loved it. Here we've got the It's Here tape, and this is only the second store that I've ever seen that in. And they also had this little bunny rabbit set. And at this point, I had just collected everything on my cart that I wanted to highlight. So it moves a lot faster that way. I just threw it all on my cart so I could highlight it. They had pads of the Delilah paper. This one didn't have a whole lot of pads. In fact, as far as paper goes, I think this was the store with the least of it. I love the periodic table. I absolutely adore it. Former science teacher, really loved the periodic table. And I was so thrilled to see this because it was $1.30 and it's updated. It's the current periodic table. These were really pretty. They got that little cartoon effect to them in the pink and red. And I found one box of these perlers. And the perler caps right there, that was $5 for those. I only found one package of it. I had seen Spanish stickers in another store, but this one had 2 different styles of these Spanish stickers. And I think it's so cool that they were being inclusive. I love this. This is really cool. A nice little set of letters, and I hadn't seen this one. And this was on the stationery aisle. These weren't up in the front, but I think you might realize now why I keep on pointing out science fair projects when I see these. More scrapbook pages, more scrapbook album pages, and I believe that was $1.99. These were really pretty paper pads, but they were $5. So I don't know if they came from the liquidations or if they've had these for a while, but the paper pads were really pretty, and it had some really nice sentiments in it. Oh, no, that wasn't the one with the sentiments in it. This brand of paper, this is the only store that I saw this brand of paper at, and it really looked like it was high quality paper. They had some of these envelopes. It was $2 for these. They had a translucent, and I bought one of the packs of translucent, but they had a couple more. They had an ivory, and they had a white, and they were really pretty, nice quality 5x7 envelopes. They had this pack of essentials paper, and it was just the white pack. Later on, I think they had some other colors of them. They had this one. This is the same company that made the rainbow pack and the others. And this is the first time I saw them side by side. This is the first time that I realized that only one of these were actual Astro Brights. This is the new paper pack company. I've never seen this paper company in any other store, but it looked really high quality and the colors were crisp and sharp. Really beautiful. I mean, if you were interested in this kind of paper, definitely come pick this up here. They had a few of that other color, and they had several of this color palette in these paper packs, and I believe those were $2. More scrapbook album pages ready to be put into your scrapbook album. This is all on the stationery aisle. And then they had both sizes of these mixed media journals that were really cool. Some more oil pastels, really nice, really good price for those. High quality ones too. They look to be really nice. This is the larger of those two mixed media album books that I was talking about. They're really pretty. And then this, again, is a $5 paper pad, but really, really pretty. I don't know if this came from the liquidation or if they've had these for a while, but this was a really nice one. And I know I flap right by the sentiment sheet, but I do come back and focus on it, so you don't have to worry about pausing it so you can see them later. There you go. Now you can pause it so you can read them. Really nice cut-apart sheet in that one. This is another set that is $5, and this one also has a lot of really nice papers. Some of them are solid colors, some of them are patterned. Really cool to look at, really pretty. This was a nice paper pad. I really enjoyed looking at these two. I didn't buy any of the $5 paper pads because, I mean, let's be real. Like I said earlier, I don't need any more paper. This right here was a art kit, and it was just a nice little kit for making calendars out of, and I thought that was really nice. Here we go! It's not red. This was the rose gold. I found one, and I found 4 of the silver. I bought 1 silver. I left 3 behind, but when I got to the register, the lady asked if I'd got them out of the clothing area, so they might have more of them in clothing. More Park Lane paper pads. These are, again, the paperweight paper. This is not cardstock. And this Park Lane pad has 180 sheets like the other ones. These were $2. And they had several of these. Like, these had been put out quite recently. I'm going to show you in a moment how many were left in the box. So this is the Palatka store if this is something you're interested in. Here's the other color of the Essentials. This is the black one. The Essentials papers, they're really nice papers. I actually think these were cardstock quality, but don't quote me on that because I'm not absolutely positive. They had this set of paintbrushes, and these were $4.79, and they had these gel pens, and they were really pretty color, but they only had this one color set. I don't know if this particular one had other colors that came with it, like this company made other colors, but this one was just the blues. These are number 10 envelopes for business papers, business letter size envelopes, but you could use these in card making as well, and it was only 59 cents for this pack of 10 envelopes. Here, you can embrace your inner Bob Ross. If you're still here, drop a comment, say Bob Ross, make people wonder. But here we go. This is your inner Bob Ross. This was a really cool set because you got not only the artist palette, but you got the paints and the paintbrushes. And it was really nice. And I think that was $8. That would make such a cool gift. And speaking of gifts, this particular stencil set had stencils for just about every holiday you could think of. And it was a really nice quality stencil set. I didn't buy it. This, honestly, it's a toss-up as to whether the resin or this was the best deal in the store because this is an entire pouring set. This is everything you need to start acrylic pouring. It's got 2 canvases, it's got all the paints, it's got mix-ins, it's got little accoutrements, it's got paintbrushes, it's got a drop cloth, it's got just about everything you could possibly want to start doing paint pouring, and this would make a beautiful gift. Here, I'm highlighting everything that's in this particular package, and it was such a good quality set. Everything in there, and it was $5. $5. We only saw one. I left it behind. I don't paint pour and didn't have anyone to give it to, although now that I think about it, my niece does have a 4-year-old. This is another great thing. This is a glass planner that you can write on with paint pens or anything like that, wipe it off. They had these 2 different colors, and they had a few of these, and these were a good buy at $4. Really cool, nice glass planners. And then they had this Craft Smart crafting glass platter plate thing. Craft Smart, again, Craft Smart, that is a Michaels brand. I don't know why this is here, but this is a great thing, and it was $5. And the lady at the register said that she had just put these out, and there were quite a few of them. Palatka store, if you're interested in this. This is Palatka, Florida, and that's us putting it back on the shelf with all of them. They did have the small cut mats. They didn't have the bigger one. That's still one of my unicorns to find the bigger mat. And they also had this brown paper pad. Pack. Really pretty color, and it would be really cool for any sort of crafting that you do, and also for junk journals because it's separate and really good quality. And a versatile neutral color. My husband wanted this little green bottle of glue, so we picked it up for him. He's going to use it in one of his crafts. And we also found this really cute little stamp pad set that had the little stamp pads as well as the ink for them, and this little set right here that is stamping markers. They've got double-ended stamping markers so you can make little stamps in journals or whatever. And this was so cool. It's paint sticks. They're like glue sticks, but it's paint. And they had the primary colors in the warm and the cool colors. And it was a really neat little thing to find. I thought that was a really cool idea. And it looks like it would be very versatile. Speaking of paint, this is the paints that they had in this store. Just want to say thank you so much for any likes, shares, comments, subs that you've done. You are very much appreciated. I thank you so much for your time and engagement. You are definitely the best. Cheers and happy crafting.